Every episode of The Scene is brought to you by DBS Entertainment, presenters of the Solstice Shakedown, happening June 22nd at The Den at 909 West Avenue in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We're also brought to you by these great sponsors: Team Pluto, The Den Cocktails and Casino in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Hummingbird Guitars, Kathmandu Campground in Sturgis, South Dakota, and J. Rick Music, your hometown music store on 41st Street in Sioux Falls. Remember to join us for the Solstice Shakedown and the Team Pluto Fashion Show, happening June 22nd at The Den in Sioux Falls. Remember to check out Starts and Ends and their new single, Building Today, coming out in June. Well, welcome to another exciting episode of The Scene. We are here at Monk's Ale House in beautiful downtown Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We are joined today by Lee Klett. Lee, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
I'm fantastic, dude. We've been spending the whole day together, shooting content all over and checking out downtown Sioux Falls. Your first time here?
Yeah, I feel a little windburn, too.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of that, huh?
About 50 mile an hour of it.
Yeah. So for our beautiful audience here and the rest of our listeners to The Scene, why don't you give us a little bit of who is Lee Klett?
Oh, well, I'm one of the front men for the band The Boys, and when I say one of, I mean there's two of us, my twin brother and I. He's got one of them day jobs, so he doesn't get to travel near as much as I do. But we are singer and songwriters from southeast Iowa, and we're just trying to get our music out there where people can hear it.
Nice. And you were just traveling this direction, at least. You were out in Des Moines just last night?
Yeah, I was at the World Pork Expo in Des Moines at the State Fairgrounds.
And you guys were performing there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, fantastic. How'd that go?
Pretty good. There was a lot of free beer, so I stayed there. I wasn't driving, but it was a good time. I mean, anytime you get farmers together in free bush light, they'll...
In that setting, too, right? It's kind of relaxed. Those conferences tend to be a really loose time.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. And you get to see all these cool, or if you're into the agricultural scene, you get to see all the planters and the stuff that goes into making pigs into pigs.
Right. I was a proud employee of Wilson Trailer for a couple of years, so I built some trailers that have gone to the World Expo, and yeah, pretty cool, man.
I built some of those same not same trailers, but I built some trailers for Bazooka. We did agricultural pump trailers, so
awesome, man.
Used to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You mean a shit tanker?
That's
yes. That's the.
For lack of a better turn of phrase, yes. I have spread some shit.
I just wanted to document it for the podcast. Mostly.
No, good. All good.
Fantastic. Well, Lee, you didn't come here just to talk. You wanted to share some music, too. You guys have been writing. You said you got, 30, 35 songs in the can ready to record. You've had a few that are recorded now, right?
Yeah, we've got 2 full albums, and we're working on number 3. And, I think we've got 35 songs. So if we wanted to, we could put a double album together. It just takes time.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we got time today. Why don't you share one with us? What are you going to be sharing first?
I tell you what. So this is probably going to be our next release. It's the one that's closest to being done. This was written in 2020 when the whole world went to crap. We lost a ton of gigs. We lost an entire summer where we were literally just playing private parties for 10 people and making, tips. Well, everybody else in the band's fine because they've all got jobs and they're all, they were essential. I was a musician, so I wasn't essential. And I didn't have a way of making money. Now, don't get me wrong. I was taken care of. My house is paid for. I didn't have any bills that were like out, and I wasn't like broke like a typical musician would be. But I basically lived off of tips. I started like pimping my services out. Like any song you want, I'll send you a 2-minute clip for your girlfriend to tell her you love her or whatever. I'll even write in their name if I can, if it's a song that I can do that in. I started just doing odds and end things that are like basically just working for tips. So this song came out of that because 2020 sucked. Forgive me, nothing I'm going to sing is inappropriate today, but I do write like a 12-year-old. My brother writes like a 12-year-old. He's actually the one who wrote this song. This one goes out to the bartenders. It's called Just the Tip. Night after night, pouring my heart out All the bartenders pouring beer. Sitting alone on a stool, 6-string in my hand. You're out there dancing, drinking, loving what you hear. Never once did you wonder how a guy makes a living playing here. It's just the tip, that's how I get by. Just $1 or $2 from the people who feel all the words I write. It's never that much, but every dollar gets me another sip. So remember, your bartender and me want just the tip. There comes a time every night, and I mean every damn night, somebody yells out, "Free bird!" And I'll tell you, for Jackson, I'll play Skinnerd. Say you wanna hear old Keith Whitley? Well, boy, you're in luck. I just need a couple dollars to put a little gas in my truck. It's just the tip, that's how I get by. Just $1 or $2 from the people who feel all the words I write. It's never that much, but every dollar gets me another sip. So remember, your bartender and me want just the tip. Just a little thing, y'all, ain't gonna hurt that much. It's closing time, they're shutting me down. So we say our goodbyes, and I'll see you around. There's a tempting young thing, says if I play my cards right, she's gonna let me come over and play just the tip tonight. It's just the tip, that's how I get by. Just $1 or $2 from the people who feel all the words I write. It's never that much, but every dollar gets me another sip. Just remember, your bartender and me want just the tip. Don't forget, your bartender and me want just the tip. It ain't gonna hurt, baby. It's just the tip.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, good
I
stuff.
said, y'all make sure you're tipping the bartenders. They're making me sound good. If I don't sound good, drink more.
Good advice.
If I start to look good, maybe tip her back a little bit.
Maybe slow down.
That's when I know I cut myself off. If I look over, I'm like, hey, my brother's kind of handsome. I go, I've had enough. If I ever look back and see the drummer that way, I'm dead.
Oh, boy. It's starting to sound like you're from Alabama.
Oh, no.
That's true.
Not that kind of good. Good God.
Oh, fun stuff.
We already had our shot at Alabama before we got here.
Yeah.
One of my bass players is from Alabama, so we like to give him hell.
That's great. So Lee,
so's his sister wife. She's from Alabama too.
Same town. Oh, Lee, I like your style, man. I love the old bluesy tunes, and bringing that back, I think, is important. You made a comment earlier when we were hanging out that somebody else was listening to your recordings and kind of critiqued it as like, well, you're trying to sound like the 90s, and your response was like,
thank you.
Yeah.
Because that was when the music was the best, I tell you. Like, I don't think she didn't mean it as a compliment, but that's how I'm taking it. Because, I mean, you can't name an artist from the 90s that didn't put out good music. Like, I could name a dozen. Like, I know I feel more and more like my dad every day. Like, damn kids and your rock and roll music. No, I don't get a lot of the new music. Now, there are some good artists out there that are on the mainstream radio, but most of the people that I enjoy listening to are local or regional. They're not making the giant, they're not doing the nationwide radio, although some of them are. I like the Cody Jinks and Tyler Childers. I like those kind of guys, but we were talking about them earlier, Danny Grouse, Brad Morgan, yourself. Let's say you got Jessica Luby here in the state, or in South Dakota, and also Colin Donnelly, which I know you can't see it on the podcast, but I'm wearing your shirt, man. Because I like to represent other bands, or like I've got so many friends in this industry, and they are every bit as talented as the people who were lucky enough to be put on, or the Morgan Wallens and the Luke Combs of the world.
Right.
I mean,
well, and we all might get there. There might be some of us that break through. I look at someone like Haley James, who's grown up in the Midwest country music organization, right?
Well, and she's exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody young and talented.
Yeah, but maybe she doesn't get there if she doesn't have kind of the incubator that this organization, right? And that's what it's about, is finding all the next Haley James, is bringing them in. And I've been very adamant. A girl we talk about, a lady we talk about a lot here. Young lady, Alyssa Kaiser, is our local, and she's 20-something, right? And just getting her career started, and we're trying to support and bring that up, raise them up, because they're the ones that are going to break through. It's not going to be me and you, Lee, sadly.
I was never holding my breath for that. I started too late, and then, I have mirrors, so I don't exactly. Well, although Luke Combs kind of gives hope to some of us that have a little extra weight on our skeletons.
Yeah. What else you got for us?
Oh, let's see. Not everything is written like it was like I was a 12-year-old. I do the same, like the bar going kind of songs, and I do some love songs and do some sad songs. I've got a couple. One of the ones I'm going to play today is one of those tearjerker songs. Well, it is if you're listening to the lyrics anyway. But this one here, this is a beer drinking bar going song. I had a long weekend playing one. I think it was 4 years ago in Memorial Day. I got home on Sunday night or Monday night after playing, and I sat down on my couch. I'm like, finally, time to relax before I have to get up and go to work in the morning, or go to bed. So I have to get up because I have to get up and work. I sat down. I turned the TV on. The TV had the little clock on it when you open it. I'm like, it's 9 o'clock. I'm like, I got to go to bed. Like, where did the weekend go? But instead of going to sleep, because I got that little, bright light flash bulb in your head, I sat down and wrote this song. It's called Where'd the Weekend Go? Friday night, neon lights, honky-tonk girls looking right. Where did the weekend go? You hear the band playing the song, Save a Horse and Tuesday's Gone. Where did the weekend go? And just like that, it's Sunday night. And then it's back to work, digging the dirt, aching back, everything hurts all week long. My coffee black, busting my hump, a million things I've got to get done. It ain't no fun. Monday through Friday take too long. Before you know it, the weekend's gone. Where did the weekend go? Now Saturdays are for the boys, guitars out, let's make some noise. Where did the weekend go? Country girls rocking my world, bikini tops and cut-offs. Mercy. Where did the weekend go? Hey, somebody wanna pass me a beer? And then it's back to work, digging the dirt, aching back, everything hurts all week long. My coffee black, busting my hump, a million things I've gotta get done. It ain't no fun. Monday through Friday take too long. Before you know it, the weekend's gone. Where did the weekend go? I'll cut it now. This would be where a good solo would go if I had a lead player with me. There you go, whistle it. Whose idea was it to go to the bar? Actually, I think it was my fault, but we're going to blame Bubba. Then it's back to work, digging the dirt, aching back, everything hurts all week long. My coffee black, busting my hump, a million things I've got to get done. It ain't no fun. Monday through Friday take too long. Before you know it, the weekend's gone. Where did the weekend go? Where did the weekend go? Thank you.
Bravo. Love it, man. Loving the style. Just strumming away.
I'm not anything fancy on
Dude,
guitar.
I dig it. I like it a lot.
Say that's why I hire better guitar players than me.
Yeah, man. That's what it's all about. That's what I do too.
I rely heavily on the fact that I can sing. That's not fair to my guitar, but
right. I shout out Bill Delaney. You can't see him on the podcast, but he's here in person, capturing the moment for us on the camera. Took some pictures for us earlier. Thank you, Bill, for some great times today. Me and Lee, I know we had a great time shooting some stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much, Bill, and thank you again for your service too. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
If they come out good, I'll send them to you.
Sounds good.
Come out good, I'll put them on Facebook.
I like that.
Well, thank you to Bill Delaney and any other artists listening. He's a great street photographer here in the Sioux Falls area, and he's looking to do more work, I think. So I'll make sure we get his info out there to everyone. And, yeah, give him a call. He takes some great shots. We got a lot more photos of his coming out soon.
I like it.
Yeah.
I saw some of the digitals on the back of the camera, but I don't think that gives it justice. So
No. If it looks halfway decent there, I
Right.
think you got something good. He told me I can work with that. I said, cool, man. I was like, you're the magician, not me. If you can make this look good, kudos to you.
Agreed.
Oh, Lee, this is so much fun. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for being a part of this day.
Appreciate
a fun
you.
one for me. I'll be a busy boy later this evening as well. You guys can catch me over at Remedy at 6:11. I'll be performing with the Vaudies. My friend Dave Holly and Emily Wilson will be there as well. Podcast listeners, I'm sure there'll be videos out there by the time you listen, so check that out.
Awesome.
Remedy at 6:11. Dave Holly and Emily Wilson host it, and then several artists. There's magicians and comedians, and I know Alicia Rain is going to be on it, and it's going to be a cool show. Come check it out, the variety show, which we're trying to bring a urban variety show to Thursday nights, late night, bi-weekly in June. So June 13th, June 27th, we'll have urban nights at Club David, which will be more less like us and more like the city that Sioux Falls is becoming. It's becoming a little bit bigger, and not that it isn't still country, right? Which I'm sure Des Moines kind of struggles with this too, right? Where you're a large enough city that you have the urban things and you have urban culture, you have mixed, you have other races, and I tell people all the time that maybe Sioux Falls isn't as, culturally homogenous, right? Well, and I think a lot of people assume that it's in the middle of South Dakota, that it's just white bread, right? And it's really not. When you get out here and you start to look around our communities and you see it, and it's very diverse. It's very culturally diverse, and we're just trying to do our part to support that, right? I mean, what you're doing out in Des Moines and setting up songwriter nights, and those are the baby steps towards having more of that, supporting smaller artists.
Right. Well, we were talking about, who has potential to make it and who doesn't. One of the things I'd like to do is write music for other people. There's a handful of my songs that other artists are playing, and I love that. That's great. Now, if I could just get Jason Aldean to return my phone calls. I could have the next hit for him. I'm okay with that.
Right? Yeah, or any of them, man. You write stuff that would be found on the radio, you know? So what if it's the one silly song, that Toby Keith song, right? If it's Red Solo Cup or something, wasn't that a smaller artist song first?
Do you know the story behind that song?
I do not. Can you
I actually know the story behind that song. The Warren brothers wrote that song. They were a no-hit wonder that had 2 albums come out and nothing ever really took off. But I love a couple of their songs. But they brought that to Toby Keith, and they're like, would you be interested in playing this song? And Toby goes, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And they're like, so you don't want? He says, no, I'm gonna record it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's on the list.
He knew what the potential was. I mean,
well, and his crowd base too, right? It was a perfect fit, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what music is. And once you start, that's why it's so important to just kind of put these songs out here, especially as independent artists. Like once they're out there, you never know who's going to hear them, and those opportunities happen, right? Like my songs might not be my songs as someone remembers them. They might be remembered as somebody else's song, and that's okay too, man, as long as the check's cashed.
Right. Well, that segues us into a good song. We're both part of the MCMO, which is the Midwest Country Music Organization, and we just did an award show back in April. And after that award show, I had a young lady approach, or actually I had her young lady's mother approach me and asked about one of the songs. She's like, you're the one who wrote this song, like, because I played it at jam night. And she goes, I go, oh, yeah, that was me. And she goes, my daughter would love to cover that song. And she had the whole setup was different for her. I thought I was, kind of being funny and whatever, but does it mean this song means something completely different to her? It's a lot stronger feeling. So I wrote this song for the girl you never should have dated. And she took that literally, like not the girl, but the guy that she was dating. She had a really evil ex. I think what she's going to release is going to be a hell of a lot darker than what we're going to release. This is going to be on our next album. It's called Pray for the Devil. She looked damn good in that red dress. I fell in love in 30 seconds or less. It took too long to realize she was the devil in disguise. To say she's trouble is selling her short. She wears her hair up to hide her horns. You know damn well she stole that halo. She's a snake in the Garden of Eden. She'll rip your heart out and leave you bleeding. Satan ain't got shit on her evil. She ain't running things yet. The underworld's in peril when she goes to hell. Pray for the devil. She left me all the warning signs, but I was in love, so I let them slide. She left my knees weak with desires. How the hell was I to know that I was playing with fire? To say she's trouble is selling her short. She wears her hair up to hide her horns. I'm pretty sure she stole that halo. She's a snake in the Garden of Eden. She'll rip your heart out and leave you bleeding. Satan ain't got shit on her evil. If she ain't running things yet, the underworld's in peril when she goes to hell. Pray for the devil. She wanted me to take her back. I told her she could kiss my ass. To say she's trouble is selling her short. She wears her hair up 'cause it hides her horns. You know damn well she stole that halo. She's a snake in the Garden of Eden. She'll rip your heart out and leave you bleeding. Satan ain't got shit on her evil. Oh, she ain't running things yet. The underworld's in peril when she goes to hell. Pray for the devil. Pray for the devil. Thank you.
All right, Lee. Yeah, buddy. I can't wait till that one comes out. I know exactly who I'm sending that to.
Fun fact, I didn't really have anybody in mind, or let's just say I didn't have anybody in mind, but that's somebody that I could have written that for was at one of my shows last week, and we used that as a closer.
Nice. Nice.
She didn't come up and say hi afterwards.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Oh, Lee.
Excuse me.
What's next?
Oh, you tell me.
I don't know. What else you got?
You know what? I haven't done anything that was like heartfelt yet. I wrote this song like December 30th. I know that because I wrote 4 songs in like 6 days, and I had no business writing songs like any time during the week of New Year's Eve. But actually, the last song I wrote on New Year's Eve. I had no business writing it because I played on the 30th, I played on the 31st, I played on the 1st. You shouldn't be writing in the middle of that, but when you get an idea in your head and it's just there, you got to roll with it. So I decided that I was going to write this song, and or because, I don't know, I've been divorced for 12 years. I've got good relationship with my kids, and I have passable relationships with my exes, but I really don't have a support system from that. I mean, my kids are happy that I'm get to do something that I want to do, but they're not really a support system. So my entire life, my support system has been my mom. She's the one that told us that we can go out and do anything we want to do, and that she'd be right there to help out. Well, I got to thinking about it. My mom put in a lot of hours when we were growing up just making sure we had food on the table, and there was times where she was only getting like 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night because she's working 2 jobs, full shifts, and then just exhausted all day. And she worked as a waitress for tips. She put herself through school so she could better herself. She's in a much better career now. Well, actually, she's on the verge of retiring. So, I mean, good for her. I don't know anybody who deserves it more. But between my brother and I, we hadn't really written a song for Mom yet. So I decided I'd write one. So I broke this out in January. We opened up for Brian White down in Ottumwa, and one of the songs I basically told the same story, and my mom was in the crowd, and I said, this one goes out to you. And then I had a hard time getting through it because I'm like all getting choked up. I'm like, you son of a bitch, you are so nice to your mama. But I mean, music should invoke some sort of emotion, especially when it's something when the lyrics hit you or whatever it is about the song hits you and it makes you feel something. I mean, that's what I was going for.
That's what it's here for, Lee.
Even if it's only getting to me, it's enough for me. And then speaking of Jason Aldean or whatever, when I play this song, I don't hear me. I hear Brantley Gilbert doing this song. So if you
Brantley, if you're listening to The Scene, this is your song.
Brantley should be listening to The Scene. He's a very talented writer. I don't know if he'd take any of my stuff, but I would love it if he would want to co-write with me. That would be awesome. Oh, sorry. This song's called My Biggest Fan. I hope you guys like it. She worked 2 jobs to make ends meet, but she never missed one high school game. All the things we took for granted, every sacrifice she made. She might not be an angel, I've never seen her wings. When I'm lost, she's a light that gets me through the night. Yeah, she believes in me like nobody can. And that's my mom, she's my biggest fan. She taught me how to sing. She encouraged me to chase my dreams. She's been there for every high and low, on every stage, at every show. She might not be an angel, I've never seen her wings. When I'm lost, she's the light that gets me through the night. And she believes in me like nobody can. And that's my mom, she's my biggest fan. Oh yeah. All those sleepless nights, every sacrifice. She might not be an angel, I've never seen her wings. When I'm lost, she's a light that gets me through the night. Yeah, she believes in me like nobody can. And that's my mom. Yeah, she's my mom, she's my biggest fan. She's my biggest fan. Oh yeah.
Bravo.
Thank you. Appreciate
No
that.
way I would have made it through that song with my mom in the crowd.
It was a near miss. But the beautiful thing about having a twin brother, because we harmonize, that's our big thing. We harmonize. So we've been doing this. We've been singing together for 40 years. If I start falling off, he can pick it right up where I'm at, where I left off. Pretty much seamlessly. We do have our own quirks. I've got a little bit more twang in my voice, and he doesn't like to go as high as I go with mine. But we've got the low range. I can do Johnny Cash really well. Our first band was a Johnny Cash tribute band. So we've got a range of songs and ideas, and we did life differently a little bit. He's got a daughter that's 24 now, and he's also got a daughter that's 5. Whereas mine range from, well, my youngest is 18. Let's just not date myself any older than that. But my youngest just graduated from high school, so super happy to be at that stage in my life.
And he has a toddler, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she'll be 6 this
very
year.
young, right?
Oh yeah,
right.
she's
Beyond a toddler, but a school-age child.
Yes,
right? That
yes.
makes for a very busy life.
Well, the worst part about it, well, not the worst part, I love my niece. She's a sweetheart. She is one of the funniest kids you've ever met. She was literally born when her sister was 18, so my brother was past it. Like,
he was out.
He was out, and he just went right back in. That's what happens when you marry a young woman. I think she's 10 years younger than us, so yeah.
Oh, man, that's great stuff. That's great stuff. So I wonder if the timing of the season, right? You say, you shouldn't have been writing songs in that time because you were so busy. Do you think that got you thinking about your mom and all those long hours that she put in and all of that, and kind
That's
of
a good
put you
question.
in that mindset?
I'll say every now and again, or an idea will pop into my head, and I'm like, I have to write that song right now. I've done that for a couple songs. Actually, 2 of the songs I was talking about today, less than a day writing them. Usually it takes me a week or 2 before I'm happy with it. But then I had the first song I ever wrote that was I wrote it super quickly. I got home after work. I was working for a landscaping company, and it was like 105 degrees outside in the shade. I got home, I'm sunburned all the hell, and I'm just hurting. It's like 7 o'clock at night. I've been working since 6 in the morning. We were working we started doing our work at 6. So it's already been a long day. And my kids are, of course, we're hungry, feed us, and like they don't want to actually do any of the work. So I started boiling water for macaroni and cheese, and I'm still covered in grass clippings and whatnot. So I go to like wipe off some of the stuff so I'm not getting grass in the food. And I just put a wet cloth to my neck, and my neck like hurt because it was all sunburnt. And I looked in the mirror, and of course my neck is beat red, but I'd had my shirt off because I had a wet rag. I didn't want to get the shirt wet. And I saw the difference between my shoulder and my neck. It was like paste tomato. Like, it was really bad. And I was like, holy cow, you really do have a red neck. And I thought, well, the word redneck, I'm like, well, it's got a double meaning. So I put a song together called Redneck. And I wrote that song before the water started boiling. I didn't touch my guitar. I just wrote out all the lyrics. So after supper, I grabbed a guitar, and it's 12-bar blues. So it was really simple. But I wrote a song called Redneck in 15 minutes. And it's actually Blake Shelton's production company actually has tentative rights to that song. So if somebody picks it up, I might actually have a song make it to mainstream radio. Oh, we'll see.
Yeah, there you go, brother. You going to play it for us now?
I can do that.
Yeah.
This song really comes in handy, or if I had some electrics with me, because it's got a really neat slide guitar intro and everything on it. But I'll do the best I can with an acoustic. I wrote it with an acoustic, so it should come all right. Scuffed up boots, sweat-stained shirt, working outside, digging up dirt. I'm praying for rain, my crop's gotta grow. Every dime I make depends on corn. The sun beating down on this boy's farmer's tan, giving me a redneck. Plowing these fields, kicking up dust. A slow-moving tractor as traffic backed up. Dirt under my nails, calloused hands. Blood and sweat ain't all that makes a man. If you got a redneck, let me hear you say yee-haw. Yee-haw. Getting called a redneck doesn't bother me at all. Yeah, I'll take my backyard barbecue over your fancy dining hall. My boots, jeans, shirt, and hat are stained with dirt and dust. Blood, sweat, snap-on tools, and hard work do I trust. The sun beating down on this boy's farmer's tin, giving me a redneck. Here we go. This is where one of the awesome guitar solos goes to. If you got a redneck, let me hear you say yee-haw. Yee-haw. Getting called a redneck doesn't bother me at all. Yeah, we say yes ma'am, yes sir, in our backwoods southern drawl. We praise our military, we pay our dues to Uncle Sam. If you don't like how we do it, man, you can kiss our country, yes. That's right, I said you can kiss my country, yeah. I'll burn this redneck. Here we go now. Redneck. I'll burn this redneck. I'm a hard-working redneck. God bless rednecks. The sun beating down on this poor farmer's town. Redneck. Thank you. Oh, fun stuff about that too. When we're, oh yeah, I know. I see out there. I can't see. I can only see shade or shadows because of the lights, but I see you out there. Much appreciate you guys coming out. I was gonna say that's another fun thing about when you write new music. That song I purposely wrote in a repeater line. Say, if you got a redneck, let me hear you say yeehaw. And I want the crowd to go yeehaw after I say that, obviously.
Yeah.
But the first time we ever played that, I was like, I didn't know if it was going to happen. And that bar erupted, and I almost fainted from excitement. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, I could die right now. This is exactly where I want to be.
Yeah, as a songwriter, that's really the best, right? Crowd favorite of ours, Triple Fine's got a super easy, I'm feeling fine, right? So,
yep.
Yeah, always get people singing along with that, and one that sticks with you. I get a lot of, man, I was at home last night, I couldn't get it out of my head, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I was like the ones like that where they get them stuck in their head, or especially like the first time you play a song out, you're like, how's that going to go? You get people come up and dance to it, or like start doing the electric slide, like, yeah, I know it's got a shuffle beat. It's danceable. You can do this. So it's just exciting when they, like, I don't know this song yet, but I like what it's doing, so I'm going to go up and dance to it. That's awesome.
And so far, that's what I really like about your set, is that it's all very familiar. It all sounds very familiar, right?
Right.
And maybe that's what, whoever it was that gave you the critique that you're trying to sound like the 90s, like, yeah, because I want it should feel familiar, right? I want my music to feel familiar.
They say, like, the easiest way to get people into your music is to make it relatable and to make it easy to learn. So if you, or the way a song should be, if it's got verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, when you sing the verse and the chorus the first time, they should be listening to it. Their toes should be tapping. The second verse, they start to, or the second chorus, by the second chorus, they start to, like, along with the words. And by the time they get to the third chorus, you should know every word of the chorus and be able to sing along. And then that's how you get those earworms, and that's how you get people to like your music. So yeah, if it's relatable and it's something that gets stuck in your head, I did something right.
Well, I think you're doing something right. I've enjoyed everything you've played.
Well, I haven't done anything really sad yet. So
yeah, you got really sad songs. Now you have to play one for us.
Okay, so, well, I was planning on playing this anyway, so might as well get it out of the way.
Perfect.
I need a drink before I do this one. So this one, it's not necessarily, the whole song is not necessarily that sad. The first two verses are basically BS. I mean, there's grains of truth in it, but there's not, it's not like 100% true. The second verse says, I met my wife while I was playing guitar. I didn't, or when I met the woman who was my wife, I didn't even play guitar yet. So, like I said, BS. But the whole idea of it is solid. The third verse of the song is 100% true. It nearly killed me. And if it wasn't for music, I wouldn't be here. Back in 2020, I lost my oldest son to a car accident. And this song that I'm about to play, I wrote about 6 months later when I could cope with it, because I didn't know how to cope with it. And there was times where I didn't want to be here anymore because one of my kids was gone. Like, why him? Why not me? Kind of scenario. And then realizing that music is how I get. It's how I deal with emotions. It's how I deal with everything. So if I'm having a bad day, I can go home and listen to Leonard Skinner, and bring my mood up, or I can go home and play Keith Whitley or Garth Brooks or whoever it is at the moment, Eric Church, and just get that out of my system and just level myself out. So I wrote this song to basically say or show how I deal with or how music saved me. It's called Pawn Shop Guitar. I hope you like it. I found her there on a pawn shop wall between an Ibanez and an Epiphone, covered in dust. She only had 4 strings. I took her home and I cleaned her up, bought new strings, straightened her truss. She wasn't pretty, but she was beautiful to me. She's gotten me through thick and thin, every situation I've been in. She don't take the hurt and just lets it out. Through Skinner, Cash, Wailing, Combs, she leaves scars but heals my bones. Without her, I'd be gone. This pawn shop guitar saved my life. She was there when I couldn't sleep, 'cause somewhere inside there was a melody that needed to be played, needed me to hear. And she was there the day that I met my wife, and I know damn well that she caught her eye, 'cause she didn't fall in love with just me. She's gotten me through thick and thin, every situation I've been in. She don't take the hurt, she just lets it out. Through Skinner, Cash, Wailing, Combs, she leaves scars but heals my bones. Without her, I'd be gone. This pawn shop guitar saved my life. The day my son died, I tried to make a deal with the devil. Take me instead, he's only 21. Well, I've had low days, I didn't want to live with the grief. But somehow, this guitar keeps me breathing. She's gotten me through thick and thin, every situation I've been in. She don't take the hurt, she just lets it out. Through Skinner, Cash, Wailing, and Combs, she leaves scars but heals my bones. Without her, I'd be gone. This pawn shop guitar saved my life. This pawn shop guitar saved my life. Saved my life.
I'll cry for you, big guy.
Thank you, man. I've come to terms with it. It was not a fun experience. No parent should ever have to go through that.
No, and it's something my mom went through, and you know, our sister, you know, my mother's daughter never made it out of the hospital, right? So a very different thing. Still a loss, still a grief that my mother will live with, but not having a whole life with your son and then having it torn away is just incomprehensible.
Well, I mean, I saw him the week before, but we weren't on the best speaking terms, so that hurts
Even more.
Well, because I was trying to teach him the tough life lessons. Like, I shut his phone off because he couldn't hold a job. He was working a job. He, quit in 3 months, and I was like, you need less people helping you out. You have to do this on your own. You have to get out there and make something of yourself. And he finally had his shit together. He came and saw me. I was on stage. He danced with my mom, and then 5 days later was gone. So it was
And that's why we do this show. That's why we do this podcast, Lee, like capturing these stories, capturing that song. You can release that song just like it is right there. Put that out,
We were talking about that. That's all I want is just acoustic guitar in my voice.
Well, you got it now. It's right there.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I've gotten some great acoustic versions already of some great songwriters and songs, and none more important, I think, than that one right there. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I impressed myself. I didn't screw up too bad on the guitar either. That can be an issue some days, especially with something that raw. I mean, I wrote that. It's been 4 years. It's almost been 4 years.
Think of the compilation album we're putting together right now.
Right?
Think of that. Like that's all the things that like, oh, cool. You got a little songwriter night. Neat, man. Oh, it's part of your little podcast. Oh, okay. I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Well,
oh, by the way,
yeah. When you zoom out, though, it's everything, right? The podcast is everything. The community, it's everything. It's all the QR codes, right?
Yeah.
The scannable merch, the scannable, it's everything.
Yeah.
And we're right in the middle of this huge wave right now that we're both riding, and it's so cool to have people in your corner like Lee Klett, like Bubba Starts, pulling for you. I don't think there's two bigger local music fans than me and you, and that's why I was so thrilled to see you win the Ambassador Award. And I didn't even know you then. I had to come up and introduce myself later, and have gotten to know you since then. But no man more deserving than you, Lee.
Well, I was blown away by getting that. Well, first off, the damn award didn't exist, so I obviously couldn't see that coming, but I had friends there that knew. I'm looking at Monica Austin. I love that girl. She knew. And she was like, she knew weeks, months ahead of time. She's like, you're coming to the award show, right? I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. No worries. Like, I might not be there on Friday night because there was an opportunity. There was Gary Allen was playing, and we were on the tentative, maybe we get to play that one. I was like, well, if I miss a jam night, no big deal. I take that back. I'd rather be at jam night. I love Gary Allen. That day will come. I'll share the stage with him. And actually another member, or I don't know if she's still a member. I shouldn't say one way or the other. But I know she was a member at one point in time because I voted for Female Vocalist of the Year, not last year, but the year before. Sorry to shoot, what's her name? We already talked about her. Haley James. I like Julie Eddy's voice, but I like hers too. But super talented. There's so much talent in the Midwest, so it's really hard to pick those things. And you don't just want to pick somebody because you're friends with them. Of course, I didn't know either one of them then either. So, but anyway, I ended up coming down there for that, or I was going to be up there anyway, because it's such a good time, and you get to. There's a lot of feel-good moments.
Yeah,
at the
I
award
missed
show.
all the music essentially, right? Because I'm sitting there interviewing people in the corner the entire night. I did 25 interviews. I talked to 25 new people that night. It was amazing.
Yeah, then that was awesome. And then, but I mean, the whole weekend, all this great music, the award show, the songs that were up for awards, or the bands that were up for awards, all up there, like. So much talent in one place. And I would compare what we're doing in the MCMO to what they're doing in Nashville. I think we have as much talent, and we have as much skill, and we have as much right to radio time as they do.
Right. Yeah, and I think regional radio is going to be a thing, right? Because as it starts to, the world is shrinking again, right? It all expanded, and now we're kind of contracting back, right? And people are realizing that local grown food, local, like all those things matter again, right? And local music matters, and being part of that, because those people are the people that come and play your benefits to bring people in to raise the money for the house that burned down or the family that lost a son or the, that's our function, right? And that's where I'm trying to get to. And a lot of what we're building through the podcast and why the podcast is so important is because that provides the funding, right? The advertising dollars of the podcast, I don't mind going out and selling that, right? Where I don't want to have to go and sell our art for an arbitrary amount, right? I would rather be like, we'll bring you the shows for free. I'm going to get my friends together. I'm going to write them a fat check, right? And we're just going to come out and have the best time. We're going to do more days like today, right? Like today was the perfect day. And I'm only halfway done, Lee. Like I'm going to another show after this.
I know, you're
might
busy
stop
man.
by the Levin and watch some national touring act play on the way. Like it's just amazing what we have here. What's growing in Sioux Falls is really great. What's growing in the Midwest Country Music Organization and across the Midwest, the upper Midwest especially, is fantastic. And yeah, I'm really glad that guys like you are willing to take a chance on guys like me and come out and hang out in Sioux Falls and provide a landing spot for us when we want to come out that way.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I think this is what this organization is about, is trying to get people together. And I kept seeing you had a couple posts that you were looking for somebody to play on Thursday. You know what? I don't play every Thursday. I found a Thursday I had open, and we talked and set this up. I like getting to new areas. I like meeting new people. I like making new fans. I like becoming fans of other people. Like yesterday, the World Pork Expo, there was 2 other artists that were there before me playing in they were just solo artists playing in tents. But Mr. Scott Kirkhart was one of them.
Love Scott. He's a friend of the show.
Yeah. And Tyler Folkerts. So I got to sit down. I barely got to see either one of them play because they were playing while I had to be setting up. But I came down early and saw them both, and shot the shit with them. If I can go out there and support another artist, they didn't need me out there because the place is just crawling with people. But I think it makes a world of difference when a musician shows up at your show. That means you're doing something that they can appreciate, or it should be anyway. They're not coming to heckle. I'll do that too, but
that's only in good fun.
Oh yeah, only in good fun.
Yeah. Well, we got time for a few more, Lee. You want to play a few more songs for us?
Absolutely. Should have been thinking about that while I was doing this. Okay, let's do one that's a little bit more up tempo and fun. Kind of pull away from what I just did there. And I wrote this one last summer. I was single, and I went on a stretch of. I actually wrote 2 songs are kind of similar, just completely different styles. This one's about this is basically my version of Diamond Rio's Bubba Hyde. It's a guy who ain't much to look at during the weekday, but if you get him at the bar, gets on the dance floor, all of a sudden he's a 10 because he's willing to get out there and dance with the girls. The song's called Honky Tonk 10. Monday morning he wakes up, pours himself a coffee cup, ready for another day. Business shoes, shirt and tie, strutting through that 9 to 5, you never even look his way. He's in the background, another face in the crowd, you know what I'm talking about. Till Friday rolls around and he's out on the town, looking like a brand new man. When you turn the bass up loud and the lights down low, he makes a little room out on the dance floor, spinning round a dime, gets her every time, he never leaves the bar alone. He's a redneck Romeo, puts his number in her phone, the envy of all her friends. On Monday he's a 5, but under neon lights he's a honky tonk 10. Saturdays on the town, pearl snaps buttoned down, tucked into his Wrangler jeans. He slips a DJ $20, so he'll play some Brooks and Dunn, a main 2-stepping machine. He makes his move, drags him out, cuts a rug, leaves him breathless, makes him fall head over heel. With the moves that he just made, the way he's dancing, it leaves him weak in the knees. But when you turn the bass up loud and the lights down low, he makes a little room out on the dance floor, spinning round a dime, gets her every time, he never leaves the bar alone. He's a redneck Romeo who puts his number in her phone, the envy of all her friends. On Monday, he's a 5 foot under neon lights. Yeah, I'm a honky-tonk 10. Oh, come on now. In the morning he wakes up, pulls himself an extra cup with a little Irish twist. Sweatpants and t-shirt, he doesn't have to go to work, so he'll probably stay like this. When a tap on the shoulder bow scares him half to death, it was a woman from the night before. And in that harsh light, that honky-tonk 10 walked out his front door. When you turn the bass up loud and the lights down low, he makes a little room out on the dance floor. Spinning round a dime, he gets her every time, never leaves the bar alone. He's a redneck Romeo, puts his number in her phone, the envy of all her friends. On Monday, he's a 5 foot under neon lights. He's a honky-tonk 10. Yeah, on Monday, he's a 5 foot under neon lights. He's a honky-tonk 10.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you. So I wrote that song 1 week before I opened up for Sawyer Brown, and then I realized that Sawyer Brown was playing, that I basically used the same, well, not quite, almost, not quite. There's no F sharp.
They threw a little extra in there. Yeah, you're good.
No, it was really close to the races on, or George Jones, I guess. But Sawyer, I was like, Sawyer Brown's where I learned it from.
Yeah. Nah, it's all right. And a lot of that country stuff sounds the same, right? That's why a lot of the bands sound the same. And
it's basically 12-bar blues anyway, so there's only so many variations. Well, and
that's why, I grew up playing a lot more blues music, and the Grateful Dead stuff that I would play was 12-bar blues, Deep Ellum, and Going Down the Road, and these really fun songs. And Going Down the Road Feeling Bad is, that's a country almost speed that they played. It's an old kind of picking song. So a lot of that old George Jones, and I didn't grow up with that music. I grew up with the Grateful Dead covering that music, right? Not knowing I'm a fan of, obviously Cash, everybody's a fan of, but deeper cuts that I didn't know were Johnny Cash songs, right? And they were just...
Oh, and he touched so many damn lives anyway.
Right.
I think he released over 200 songs by himself. That's insane.
Right. Well, a lot of his songs sound the same to each other, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could probably sit here and play for 10 minutes, 20 minutes straight, playing different Johnny Cash songs that are all in
E blues.
Yeah, they're blues in E.
Nice.
Like I said, my first band was a Johnny Cash tribute band.
Yeah,
so
man, you got it down.
I know a few of those.
This is fun. Well, Lee, I've had a great day with you, man. You got one more for us before we let you go?
Yeah, we could do that. Let's see. I'm trying to think of which one would be a good show ender. Oh, yeah. So I can't believe I never even played this one. I wrote this one the end of summer. My brother is famous. Maybe not famous. He is well known in our area for writing love songs for his wife. He wrote the one we did content for earlier, Playing with Fire. He wrote that one, and he wrote that when he was dating her. And then he wrote another one called Dirty when he was dating his wife. And he's written 6 of them since. But those 2 songs he wrote before she was his wife, and she married him. And now they've got an almost 6-year-old. They've been married since 2017. And both those songs are available on our first album. But anyway, I'd never done that before. So I sat down with the intention of writing a song for my wife. This song is called I Miss My Ex-Girlfriend. Don't tell my wife, she'd never understand why I still hold the flame for my ex-girlfriend. Don't get me wrong, I love my wife to death. There's things that she won't do, like my ex-girlfriend. She never laughs at my jokes. She'd never tell me I'm handsome. She wouldn't pay the bad guys if they held me for ransom. I miss my ex-girlfriend. When she said I do, what she really meant was I'll never do that again. The list of honeydews never comes to an end. I miss my ex-girlfriend. She used to think I was smart. Now she knows that I aren't. She needed me to change. I wanted her to stay the same. Closing down the bars, having fun, and fishing on Saturdays turned into antique shopping, operas, and ballet. I miss my ex-girlfriend. When she said I do, what she really meant was I'll never do that again. The list of honeydews never comes to an end. I miss my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, I do. Hey, Bubba, you ever miss that time that your wife used to do that thing you really liked?
All the time.
Like sharing the covers?
Yep.
How about this? If I ever try for a roll in the hay, she's either sick, tired, or sick and tired, or just flat said no way. Yeah, yeah. I miss my ex-girlfriend. When I said I do, I never realized that I'd never be right again. The list of honeydews, it never ends. I miss my ex-girlfriend. I miss my ex-girlfriend. Thank you. So that's the only song I've written so far that comes with a warning label. Gentlemen, I am not wearing a wedding ring because I'm not married. If you go home and call your wife your ex-girlfriend, she might not think you're near as funny as I think I am.
Well, Lee, what a perfect ending to a perfectly beautiful day. Thank you so much for spending it with me. This
Absolutely.
was fun.
Yeah, I mean, if it was just a little bit closer, I'd come up here more often, but I'd love to come back up here again. That amphitheater is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these stages, and the people that I got to meet today, and the content we got to shoot and record, and I can't wait to see Bill's pictures. I'm pumped.
Yeah, this has been awesome, man. Yeah. So for everyone here at The Scene, thank you. And for everyone else, this has been The Scene.
Thank you, Bubba.
Find us on Spotify, YouTube, or at listen.to/The Scene. Follow us on all your social media channels and make yourself part of The Scene. The Scene has a special shout out for these following sponsors. Monk's Ale House at 420 East 8th Street, downtown Sioux Falls, home of the Songwriter Showcase, and over 100 beers on tap. Bring your friends and come try the new menu. Burgers, pizza, and more. All at Monk's Ale House in downtown Sioux Falls. Home of The Scene, Songwriter Showcase every Thursday. A special thank you to J. Rick Music on 41st Street in Sioux Falls. Sponsors of the Songwriter Showcase at Monk's Ale House. Remember to support all of our sponsors and tell them that you heard it on The Scene.